We don't have a warehouse, we don't have communication, we don't have water, because here we only drink water when it rains.
They drink water when it rains. And how much does the fish cost, more or less?
Right now, they're paying for it here at a shellfish stand run by someone named Tony. They pay us $2,000 and $1,500.
What's that, Colombian pesos?
Well, today I got 60 kilos. 60 kilos of crab, uh-huh.
And how much does a kilo cost, more or less?
Well, here they're paying me 0.60.
0.60. And how much does gasoline cost here?
Here it's 1.3.
$1.3 per liter of gasoline here in Ologá.
This video, I brought you here to see it. The place with the highest concentration of lightning in the world, which holds the Guinness record as the most electric place on the planet.
Located south of Lake Maracaibo, in a little town called Ologá, and it is none other than the Catatumbo lightning. Started off a bit eventful last night. We drove for 13 and a half hours from Caracas to Puerto Concha, where we took a boat and arrived here at Chamita, an old stilt house from Imparques. Right now it's just ruins of what it used to be, and many people can come, set up their hammock and sleep there. Before, there was even a restaurant here and people used to come for tourism, even the locals, to eat on Sundays. I don't know if you can see over there in the back, there are other stilt houses where people used to live, but again, all of that is abandoned now. No one lives here anymore. This morning we woke up with the intention of going to Ologá, where you can witness the Catatumbo lightning better. And also our camera broke, so I don't know if you'll get to see pictures of the lightning like we hoped. Maybe it's just overheated because the humidity and heat here are very intense, and we'll see if it works tonight. The fact is, we're already getting on the boats and we're about to head out. Not only to this village or the place where he lives, a very, very remote community on stilts, but also to the surrounding channels to try to spot wildlife like river dolphins, butterflies, crocodiles, monkeys, among other animals you can see. In the south of Lake Maracaibo, we just encountered river dolphins called toninas. They're quite difficult to spot as they're pink, and we barely saw them like at Titicaca. They're right over there in front of us. They're spectacular. Hopefully we can get some close-up shots to show you, but this is our first wildlife sighting here at the Catatumbo lightning. Check. All those little dots you see in the background are fishermen catching blue crab, but we'll talk about that in the next video. Look, the adventure continues right now. They went to change the hose on the gas tank, and this gas seemed to have a bit of water in it. So the engine wouldn't stay on for long and the starter broke. Or the cable, you know, the one you pull to start it. And now they're going to put in ignition keys. had too many problems with gasoline. In fact, they were telling us that the only aquatic service station in Puerto Concha doesn't exist anymore because there's a problem. Some debts that the station owners have with Petróleos de Venezuela, Sociedad Anónima, and all the boatmen have to go by truck to El Vigía, which is a town that's an hour and a half from Puerto Concha, to go buy gasoline there and bring it back and then transfer it from the trucks to the boats. However, the gasoline is coming with so much water that it's delayed our trip, it's damaging the engines. In fact, we made a stop for about an hour to fix the problem you saw on camera. And now the other boat, which is also coming, is having problems. And that's why we're going at a minimal speed. It's incomprehensible how, being the country with the largest oil reserves in the world, we have such bad gasoline. But what's even more incomprehensible is that a few years ago, 4 years ago, we practically had free gasoline. I mean, the price was ridiculous and it worked normally. And now that we have gasoline at international prices at $0.50 per liter, that's when it's causing problems. That's when there's more scarcity than ever. Are we really living in an upside-down country? We finally arrived in Ologá. Here, people basically live off fishing, but there are also some stilt houses where they keep pigs and raise them until, well, they can eat them. It's impressive that each house has 3, 4, or 5 children, all of them little. In this stilt house village of Ologá, there are about 15 or 20 houses, and literally each family has many small children. Could it be that their main entertainment is playing house? We know that there is no electricity here, so there is no television, no phone connection, nothing. They live in the most rudimentary way you can imagine. In some stilt houses made of zinc, some, if they're lucky, have parts made of concrete or something like that, but most of them are zinc from the roof to the walls. And the conditions are quite intense, not only because of how they live, but also because of the environment. It rains a lot here, there are storms. I remember the first time I came, a huge storm hit us, and the next day a stilt house had been swept away by the storm. Only the foundations were left, but all the walls and the roof had been completely blown away. Look, here's proof of how the walls of that stilt house were blown away. And look, there are more kids over there. More and more kids. Impressive. About 3 weeks ago, they built this new stilt house that's here. Look at this stilt house you see. It's where we're going to stay. The owner's name is Tani, and 6 years ago, he brought it from Congo, Mirador, another small village. They tell us that the whole stilt house is built on several small boats, on several ships, and they bring it here by sailing. I mean, it's not like they take it apart and put it back together, but rather they set it up on several boats and bring it over. We'll stay here for the next few nights. Look, meet Cello. He's our boatman. Tell me, how do you move a stilt house from one village to another?
Well, they use several boats, especially the smaller ones. Some parts of the boards are loosened, and then water is poured into the boats so they sink a little. Not completely, but so there's about a hand's width of water inside. They push it down. They loosen everything from the stilt house, and then they remove the water from the boat so the stilt house can float. They lift it up, take it out, bring it to the spot, and start moving in. Those who are
The pilots.
The boats are put back in place and water is poured on them to take them out again. That's how it remains. Look,
These are the pilots I was talking about. They put the boat down there and then they bring it back. Look, there's a cat here, dog. A cat that likes to be petted. Look, how beautiful. How did you get here, kitty? How did you get here? Join me for a tour of the whole Stilt house where we're going to stay. And well, I should mention that because they work with tourism, this is the Stilt house in the best condition in the whole area. Well, that one back there. It's the house of Alan Hayton, the legend of the Catatumbo lightning, that Barbadian guide who came to live in Venezuela 30 years ago. And he spent 20 years showing the Catatumbo lightning to hundreds of thousands of people. Even networks like National Geographic, the British Broadcasting Corporation, among others, came to make documentary reports about this natural phenomenon, where Alan was the one who guided them. Imagine the importance of this man who introduced it to science. 2 new species of butterfly that were found in this ecosystem and had not been recorded before. But during the pandemic, he left the country and now the Stilt house has been abandoned. I believe someone maintains it, but the dock has visibly collapsed. It is essentially abandoned. So Tani is the one who welcomes the tourists right now. Look, here's the main little room where there are quite a few cabs, and here's the little bed where they live. There's another hammock over there since this area sometimes floods, so things must be kept hanging up. Here is the bathroom. I'm going to tell you about the particularities of the bathroom. Look at this. There's the toilet, and over here there's a tub of water. When you do your business, you pour some water into the toilet and it goes straight from there to here. Straight. There's no drainage, there's no sewage pipe, nothing. It goes straight. Well, actually, I don't know if you can see there. Well, no, the Stilt house is dripping there, not the toilet. But I'm 100% sure that's how it is because I've already experienced it on previous occasions when I've come here. And once your organic waste falls into the lake, do you see how many fish eat that? It's really interesting to see how countless fish come and in 5 seconds your organic waste disappears. And hours later, you see how they serve you fried fish on your plate. I don't think those are the ones, but your mind plays tricks on you, it starts spinning, and you say, I'm seeing the cycle of life way too fast right in front of my eyes, so I'd rather avoid it. This time, since we didn't come with a guide, they just supported us with some boats. We're going to make all the food ourselves. We brought little stoves and a whole menu, including sandwiches and arepas from the capital. While we're more relaxed about the food now, it was honestly an issue before. Pretty intense. Over here is the dock where you can witness the lightning. You stand there like Fogonix with the tripod, and usually the storms are over there, so you set up the tripod facing that way and try to capture them. There's part of the equipment. And look, over here is like the main room of Tani's Stilt house. There are our coolers. Over here there are more tables and tables. There they have a little gas stove. And this is new because I remember that the last few times they cooked with firewood. But look, now they have a little gas stove. And over here they have the last room. By the way, they also have a generator now. And here are some mattresses. Honestly, I think it looks pretty good. Again, they're getting ready to receive tourists. There are people who are very interested in seeing the Catatumbo lightning, and Tani is the only one who offers lodging services. People usually need to bring their own food due to the lack of a fully organized logistics system. But there are several people who are working as tour guides for the Catatumbo. And well, they bring all the food and cook here. But I think this Stilt house looks really nice. at least compared to the ones we saw back there when we entered Ologá. And that's why it's because they were receiving tourists. In fact, I was just told that when we were leaving yesterday, some English people were arriving who were here at Tani's Stilt house, spending the last 3 nights. Look, I just ran into some fish that they open up and put salt on, kind of to dry them out and salt them. Just to be clear, it's so they can preserve them. As I already mentioned, there's no electricity in this place. And there are also no refrigerators, freezers, absolutely none of that. So they have to use old-fashioned techniques to preserve them. The wonderful opportunity that life has given me to travel, to get to know other realities and other cultures, has taught me to value it to the fullest. And one of the things I enjoy most when I visit such remote communities like this one is being able to talk to the locals, interview them so they can tell us a little bit what's their secret, because you see them, I mean, from a drone shot you take to when you get close with the camera. Everyone always greets you, everyone always smiles, everyone is always friendly. And I want to share an anecdote to prove this. And the thing is, we were in Buenos Aires once and we rented a small boat to sail around some beaches, a very small boat that didn't require a license. And my drone's battery was running out and a lady came out of a mansion. So luckily, I landed the drone on the dock and she almost threw my drone into the sea, all upset. I told her, "Ma'am, I swear I wasn't recording you. I was recording, we can check the footage so you can see. I really wasn't recording the house, the beautiful beaches of Bonaire." But again, I think that human beings, the more they have, the more civilized they are, the more involved they are with money and material possessions. Then they become more selfish, they become more hateful. Yes, that's how it is. And this isn't something against people from any particular country. No, I believe it's something that occurs everywhere, globally. That's why I love being in these places. Like that, asking them what their daily work is, what their entertainment is, their hobbies, how they live day to day. Things that for us might sound impossible, like the simple act of refrigerating food. For them, it's just everyday life. And that's how they enjoy it. Look, meet Tani. How are you, Tani?
Good.
This gentleman is the one who took over for Alan when he left to receive the tourists, right?
I welcomed the tourists, the ones who arrived here, all 3 of them, my friend Chelo.
Tani, approximately how many tourists visit on a weekly or monthly basis?
Weekly, I receive 20 tourists, 5 tourists, 2 tourists, some weeks, 2 other weeks, 5. Yes, that's weekly. Weekly, all right. And sometimes there are 15 days when I don't receive anyone.
Tani, a question. Do you have electricity here?
No, I have here.
Because you have a generator.
I have a generator here for the house.
But I saw a generator over there at the entrance of the town. That doesn't work anymore, right?
No, it doesn't work anymore. That one belongs to Congo.
Congos. And that was installed by the government, but it doesn't work anymore. How long has it been like that? You don't know?
The town of Congo was lost.
The town of Congo was lost?
Yes, it's a shame to see it because it's lost. That town was very lively. A lot of people used to come there. A lot.
And why was it lost, Tani?
And it was lost because they made a ditch over there and in the river they found one.
Because of deforestation.
Deforestation. Point J covered it. They opened it again.
And all the sediment rose and covered the town. Thank you, Tani.
We're at your service.
Thank you. And
We're here to serve you. Bring your family over to meet us.
Of course. And
Give me your number when you leave so I can call. When should I come over?
of course, thank you, Tani. One of the things I just found out about, because there were a lot of electrical wires, and I was asking, if there are all these electrical wires, why isn't there electricity in this town? And the thing is, there was actually a power plant here that the government had set up, but it hasn't worked for more than 6 years. In fact, the first time I came here was about 6 years ago, and that's true. And the second time was 5 years ago. This is my 3rd time. And none of the 3 times has there been electricity. So there's the answer to why there are electric cables but no electricity. Hey Roger, what are you doing there? What are we going to eat?
Are we going to eat crab? We're going to eat chicken.
Crab, chicken.
Look, Roger, a question. Are you from here? From Puerto Concha? From Puerto Concha? Yes, look. Roger has an Instagram page that's called Roger. And do you bring tourists here? For Catatumbo, Chelo's son, who, well, is the legend of the people who used to bring tourists here. So now you know you can contact him as Roger Catatumbo. If you want to come and see this natural phenomenon and, well, eat crab and chicken, here are the
Crabs that
we are going to eat. But these crabs are already,
clean, right?
look, and they made it beautiful, and you put that on the grill, and then which part do you eat?
Everything, here we try to, the part of the body and the tusks, here we break it. We take out the meat.
All of that has meat.
In the same way, we're going to eat the one that's already processed.
The one that's already processed. Okay, well, beautiful, and all that is what they took away from the others. This much. Those still haven't been cleaned yet because, look, they take out everything that's inside and they end up all clean like this. And then onto the grill. Right now, we're going to get closer to those little houses, those stilt houses you see over there, and try to ask people how they live, what they do every day, what their routine is. Let them tell us a little bit about what life is like in Ologá. Is that what you have there? Is it salt? Yes, is that to put on the fish? Can I try some? Ah, that's what they're putting on it. What are los anzuelos? What else? And what are they going to catch with those hooks? Crabs. Ah, the blue crab. Look, beef. They use beef to make these little hooks. Let's see. And then with this, they catch the crabs. Are you from here? From Ologá?
Yes, I'm from here.
How old are you, my friend?
May, 35 years old.
35. What do you usually do during a day? I mean, do you go fishing every day? Or some days yes, some days no?
We only fish from Monday to Friday.
From Monday to Friday? Uh-huh. And on weekends, do you stay here at home or do you go over to Puerto Concha with the tower and paella? Well, when it's time to sell the fish, usually they bring in fish and crab, or just fish, just crab, or chopped crab. Okay, Leandro, I have a question. And those pigs that I've seen in some of the stilt houses, do people just raise one? Does every family have their own pig? Do some have pigs, and do you have one or you don't? Look, Leandro, one more question. Around what time do you go out to fish? And here now they come back at 6 in the morning and return at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And then right now it's around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. You start preparing the bait for the next day. Everything you're doing right now is for tomorrow, to catch the blue crab. Leandro, thanks. Can you check inside the house? Excuse me. Look, here's the little hammock where they live. And over there, there's another little hammock. Look, Leandro, can I ask you something? Do you have children?
And I have two girls.
How do you keep things refrigerated to preserve food and all that? Or do you fish and eat every day? As far as I know, they don't refrigerate anything. Instead, they use salt or ice to preserve the fish and crab they catch. And how often do they have to get ice? About once a week, do they go there to get ice? And do they leave them? What? Do they eat from coolers? Something like that? Don't tell me that. It's fine. Thank you, Leandro. What's his name, boss? Sorry.
Me, John Angel.
John Angel, have you lived here your whole life in the home?
Almost my whole life. Some time here. I spent some time in Congo when it was Congo.
Because right now you can't go to Congo anymore, right?
You can go to Congo because of what's going on.
And why can't you go to Congo anymore?
You can go, but it's a struggle.
Of course, but that's because the sediments rose from the bottom and now the boats can't get through.
That's right. The Catatumbo River silted it up.
And why did that happen?
Between the Boca de Congo and Punta de los Palos, they made a canal there that broke the river right there.
And why did they make that canal?
Supposedly so the town wouldn't get lost, but ever since they did that, the town got lost.
About 5 years ago, I visited Congo, but I had to drag the boat a bit. Is Congo now uninhabited?
Yes, there are. Well, I think there aren't. Maybe 15 people. Oh, everyone has left. Most of the people who were there are at the southern tip now, over there at the mouth of the river.
Hey, Angel, tell me something. What days do you go fishing? From Monday to Friday. And on weekends, what do you usually do? Which ones? Yes.
Eat and sleep.
Eat and sleep?
While you're fishing for some crabs? Of course. Because instead of here, why don't you try fishing for a cooler? What if it comes for a week? Of course, and the ones that come are already taken. With their canoe ready, they can naturally go fishing.
So there's no point in catching so much because the fish will go to waste.
That's like, yeah, of course, because if it's going to spoil, it's better to let it reproduce.
Exactly, don't catch it. And a question, couldn't you preserve the fish here? Or is it because you don't have any?
The problem is if there's someone to look for it, right? Uh-huh. But the problem is the fuel.
Of course, there's no fuel, there's never any fuel for them to come and look.
And right now, to go to Colon, which were the ones that used to come here the most, it's really expensive. No, I haven't gone, but it costs 500,000 pesos. Of course, 100 and something dollars. A lot, of course, 70 liters.
70 liters of gasoline, of course, because they would buy it in Colombia.
They don't fill it up right there.
They fill it up right here, but they bring it from over there.
They fill it up right there, at the Santa Barbara pump when it arrives.
Uh-huh.
But the fisherman goes and they don't see him.
Me, Angel, and a question. Since when has there been no electricity here in Ologá? I noticed a plant or generator passing by here. Does it work? Is it nearby?
And it turns on. That's what the people here tell me. It turns on, but when it works for too long,
it overheats.
It overheats and starts to release smoke from the dynamo.
So do they never turn it on?
No, it's been about 4 years since they've turned it on.
I arrived 5 years ago and the place wasn't operational. It was empty but had electricity.
There are those little huts here. From there on, there's electricity from a small generator.
However, that's insufficient to power a fridge or freezer. No Stilt house here has a refrigerator. Look, I just have one question for you. And your diet normally? So, you guys only eat fish and crab? No, man. What else do you eat around here?
When there's no salted food, we hunt whatever we can get. Some little crows, a small caiman, a pirokiro. When you can go hunting for a challenge, you eat whatever is there. And cheese and bologna, which is what the suppliers bring here.
Because they come to deliver bologna and cheese and that.
Let someone go with Rio, let him entrust it to the transports going to Concha.
Exactly.
To those coming from Santa Barbara.
And additionally, besides fish or salted meat, well, fruit, vegetables, greens, something like that.
They ask you to bring the stew ingredients they specified to the town.
Other than that, just fish. One question, how much do you sell the crab for more or less? How much do you get in one catch?
I brought 60 kilos.
60 kilos of crab, and how much does a kilo cost more or less?
Well, here they're paying me 0.60.
0.60. That's $36 for a day's work if you work all 5 days. However, you have to subtract the cost of gas.
Well, that's what I spent. I got 10 liters yesterday.
And how much do you pay for gas here?
Here it's 1.3.
$1, $1.3, $1.3 per liter of gas. To whom or the gas? For example, to go out and catch those 60 kilos, today I went.
I'm getting the gas ready because I'm living with the Pakipake. Yesterday I got 10 liters and used up 7 liters.
7 liters. Because look, something very interesting. Here they figured out how to, can I get on your boat, John Angel?
That one is called John Angel.
John Angel, look. Look, here they invented, well, they didn't invent it because it's not traditional from here, but they adapted the boats with a type of motor called paki-paki. Just so you have an idea, it resembles grass trimmers. It's a tube with a small propeller. Yeah, I've seen it when I went to Thailand or the Philippines. It's the engine they use for the boats over there, and that way they save a lot of gas. Other fishermen had told us about it before. Normally, when a boat engine uses 50 or 40 liters in a day of fishing, a small boat like this can use 5 liters. That's almost 10%. That's why they've had to use these techniques to save fuel and make fishing profitable for them. However, with these paki-paki, they can't move much. They're much slower, and it also limits fishing a bit. John Angel, thank you very much for answering all those questions. One last question, John Angel. What do you think is missing, or what do they need here to have a better quality of life?
Guys, we need good fuel and a business like we had before. A grocery store.
Was there a grocery store here before in the neighborhood? Of course, there it is. And you could do all your shopping here at the grocery store, right here.
It's the same as in Congo. In Congo, there were 2 grocery stores.
I recall the spectacular church in Congo. Do you have children, John Angel?
Yes, I have one in Barranquita, the oldest who is in Santa Barbara, and the youngest whom I carry upside down.
You have 3 children around there? Thank you, John Angel. It's a pleasure. Sorry to interrupt your work. What's Maridelma Vega's name? Maricel, Maridelma, Maribel?
Maridelma.
Maridelma? Aha, Maridelma. And you? What's your name? Chief Francisco? And are we gonna play? What? Achille, but I don't know how to play Achille. I know, I'll explain it. Do I flip the cards? No, you can grab them like this, you can open them like this. I'll open them. Mrs. Maridelma, how long have you lived in Ologá?
I've been here as long as I've been alive.
And how many years? 48? 48 years living here in Ologá. And how is life here in Ologá, Mrs. Mariderma? Nice, peaceful, right? I imagine.
Yes, thank God.
Sometimes good and sometimes bad. What's your name, boss?
Francisco.
Francisco? You say sometimes good, sometimes bad?
Yes, the bad part is because of the food problem. Since we don't have a store here, we don't have communication, we don't have water, because here we drink water. When it rains.
They drink water? It's when it rains?
When it rains, we go to the streams to look for dirty water if we don't have any.
In a river. Pop.
And that, everything you see, we always put that on, but no one else does.
Of course, no one does.
Anything.
When it doesn't rain, they have to go to a river to get water, which is usually contaminated and dirty. I can't imagine that.
And do the children drink that water too?
The children also drink that water, which I imagine causes many illnesses. Mrs. Marielle, do you have children?
Yes, I have 5.
5 children? And did you give birth to the children right here in Ologá?
One was in Santa Barbara. That's when they performed a C-section on me.
They did a C-section in Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, she is 18.
Years old. Okay, and the others?
The others are men. Those over there, all of them here, these little ones here, those are my children. These 3 who are...
Here? And did you have them right here at home? Is there like an infirmary here or something, or in the water?
Yes, there was a midwife here.
A midwife? And the midwife isn't here anymore? No.
She's not here anymore because she's old.
There are still 7, but I mean, she can't see anymore.
She can't see anymore.
When someone is pregnant, do they have to travel to Santa Barbara or Paris for care? Mr. Francisco, what about you? Are you already retired?
No, not yet.
Is he still working?
Of course.
And what does he do for work? From fishing? From fishing? And how old is he right now? 68. Is that okay? Look, I don't know, but I think I'm gonna win this game.
No, that's it. I lost because I have a... No, he already won.
Mrs. Mariel, can you show us the little house or can we go in to see it? I saw when I was passing by with the boat that they had a pig back there. They eat pork too. How long do they raise it? Or do they kill it once a year? Or how does it work?
It depends on the timing. Because if we see that we're really hungry,
Exactly.
we have to kill. But when we have good food, we're with him. 5 months, 6 months.
Generally, what do they feed pigs?
I call it fish, pig feed.
Ah, they buy pig feed and bring it to him.
Yes, and that's what he eats.
All right, and every 5 or 6 months they kill it. When they kill it, they must eat it all right away since they lack refrigeration. It's sold.
We sell it.
Ah, they sell one part and eat the other. We eat it. Ah, okay. Well, can I go over there to see it? Yes. Over there? Here we are entering the house, Mrs. Mariel. They sleep in hammocks since the lower part sometimes floods.
Yes, in the coming months, this sinks. We have to leave the ranch alone and return it here, to my son, to the big ranch.
Okay. Yes, because when I came 5 years ago. And there was also a heavy rain and we had to sleep there. Did you put the bags on the roof and all that? Because all of this gets flooded? The hammock is also cooler than the bed, right?
Yes, it's cooler.
Yes.
It's cooler. Because if it was on the bench, you would lie down and it wouldn't reach me. Of course, but in bed I didn't have to use a cover with a fan.
Exactly.
And here, since there's no electricity, we don't have fans.
Mrs. Maria, that water you have is rainwater, right? That's the one you collect to drink when you're thirsty. That one and the other one, the one in the back. Rainwater. Okay. Which were the best years for this town in the 48 years you've been living here?
From 15 to 30 years ago.
And back then there was electricity, it was continuous.
Yes, there was good electricity here. I mean, the warehouse. There were a lot of warehouses. Of course, here there was, because in Congo there was an antenna. It reached this point, but we got screwed due to the coronavirus pandemic. We got screwed without communication.
Since the pandemic, there's no phone signal anymore.
Since then, we have it at the same time. Okay.
And Lucy has been without electricity for about 5 or 6 years now, right?
Yes, it's been quite a while. And right now I have electricity with my brother, Gocho. He gives me electricity.
He has a small generator and runs a cable. That's why he gives me a little light bulb.
Of course, to my children, too.
But you also have to spend money on gas to run that generator, right? Yes, of course, so it's more expensive.
Sometimes you can't turn it on, because it's really not gas.
Of course, that's right.
Gasoline is very scarce.
Of course. Look, come here. They have a garden in the back, he said, with an aloe vera plant. He remarked on the beauty of Avila. Like Mammon, and they use all of this for cooking.
Bad mother.
Bad mother, I didn't know that one. Look, over there is the little pig, but it's still small, right? Yes, it is.
So small. The bad mother, is that medicine? It's medicine. Yes, it is.
Oregano is also medicine. Did it have acetaminophen?
No, I don't have any acetaminophen. I only have oregano and the mala madre plant. Did you have an acetaminophen plant? Yes, I had a lot. I even had VapoRub.
That's for headaches, right, I guess?
I had several, but many of them dried up. They got ruined. There was a pig I had here too, and it ruined even more.
Look at that, the little pig. Cilantro, yes, cilantro tastes good. Do you travel around Ologá in this small boat or use it for fishing? This is the boat we'll take to Paraguay. That one, if there isn't.
A net over there. At least today and tomorrow we're going to look for it.
Of course, you throw these nets so the fish get tangled in them. Well, in National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and in the nets, they go looking for them the next day. And do you also go fishing? Yes, my husband and I go together. This is a family business? And what days do you work, Monday to Friday?
It depends, because sometimes we work every day. Let's see why.
Because all the fish, you must sell it to someone who comes here. Taking it yourselves would cost too much in fuel expenses.
Yes, we sold it here. Right here, people come and they sell it to them.
And what kind of fish do they usually catch?
What do you mean?
I mean, what do they catch?
Well, maramano, bocachico, pampano, also snook. many fish types. You don't catch crab, only fish.
And how much does the fish cost, more or less?
Right now, a guy named Tony is buying it here. They pay us 2,000 and 1,500.
That's in pesos. Colombian 22. 1,000 per kilo and 2,000 pesos is $1, which is about 5,000 pesos, right?
No, right now it's at 3.
It's like half $1. And on a normal fishing day, how many kilos can you usually catch?
Let's see. Sometimes what we catch depends. Because it goes really fast, like I said. The boat that came yesterday and left today, many people catch. So it goes fast. So it doesn't give us time to even order food, because if we order at least for another week, next week we can't order because there's nothing left.
Of course, and if the boat doesn't come, you don't fish because the fish will spoil, right? Of course, you don't have a way to refrigerate it normally.
And also, while the boat doesn't come, until the refrigerated boat arrives, you don't eat. Well,
Of course.
because it's tough, of course. Life here is also tough right now. That's why, because of the store.
And do you usually eat the same fish, or do you buy something else?
No, sometimes we ask the fish vendor. If they come, we buy the fish from them. We give them a little something so they bring us the groceries, but sometimes we order it, and they don't bring it. If they don't bring it, they fail. And that's not right, because that's why we're giving them the fish, so they bring us the food.
Of course. And usually what do they ask for when they come, like chicken or more like rice or things like that? Do you cook here with firewood or with gas?
Right now we're cooking with gas, but for a long time I used to cook with firewood.
Because there was no gas.
Because there was no gas.
Now they have a gas and bring it to them. The fisheries also change their gas cylinders and work with gas.
We cook over there, those ones in the back. Almost all of them are my children.
Oh, so do they all go to cook for the same little house?
Yes, because they have a plan like I buy it.
Exactly.
So they cook together with me.
Well, Mrs. Marielle, thanks so much for this. I want to ask you one last question before I say goodbye, and I want to thank you for teaching me how to play gilet.
I was Marielma.
What do you consider, what is the secret of happiness? Because when I arrived here in Ologá, everyone smiled at me, they waved at me, and they were super friendly. And honestly, I see the conditions in which you live, and maybe anyone else would be sad, but I see you all are super happy. So, what do you think is the secret?
The secret is that whoever comes. But as we say, we may be poor, but life is like that. We have to be like that. We have to accept that it's like that. We have to be happy, because we can't be sad. And that's what we're here for. Did you see that when they passed by, you were the ones who stayed on the plane?
Yes, the little plane, yes.
And the dogs were there too, and they're the same ones.
That's precisely why we've flown the drone in other locations. Cities, places where maybe people don't lack anything and people get annoyed because the little drone flies by, while all of you are happy, smiling and everything. And honestly, I'm really glad that you keep that loving spirit.
That's how it is. You have to treat people who come here with kindness, with love, because that's how it should be. How are you going to come here and I have that attitude? So treat people the way they should be treated. Treat them the way they should be treated.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mariama. Seriously, thank you for having us.
Thank you as well.
I love the passion with which they play in that game, throwing the stones, confident in their decisions. It's good. The energy of dominoes is really good. I already introduced Roger to you a few minutes ago, and this gentleman here is the one who brought Luisito. Roger Comunica, tell me about that experience. How is it?
Well, good. I mean, I usually brought him. They hired me and I brought him as usual since there were two people. I didn't know who he was.
You didn't know who Luisito was, Roger?
No, nothing. They didn't tell us anything. In fact, I brought him in a small boat, just normal, because there were two people.
Exactly.
We arrived on the trip as usual. He was recording his stuff. It was really funny, really cool. But I realized they contacted me through the radio transmitter, telling me I was carrying an influencer or something similar. We don't use social media much here, so we didn't focus on it. And they informed me over the radio that I was carrying an influencer. They told me, don't let him go. Don't come back without having him make a video for you. You're carrying him. 38 million followers on that boat. I realized it when I arrived at the town of El Verguero and people were calling me. I wondered what was going on. Because of him, because they wanted greetings from people who were in the United States calling me, asking me to send a greeting. To Luisito, I didn't even know it was normal and I didn't bring it. People asked about my arrival date and plans for the following day to avoid crowds. Of course, even during the day, it was chaos. All of Merida, it was literally a total chaos. Well, and as a result of that, at least here, we didn't have social media or anything.
And what did you do if people wanted to contact you? Only through recommendations.
Recommendation? My dad has been working in tourism for almost 30 years. A lot of people know Cello and everyone has his number. And now, through the internet, they find me. I opened an Instagram, something like that, and...
So you opened Instagram?
After people come, and every time they come, well, they recommend me. And we all go together, like all the tour guides, everyone. Those who know us, well, they keep recommending us, so little by little we're getting more clients, and well...
Luisito, if you see this video, you know that thanks to you, this guy made an Instagram. His business has become more formal, attracting a significant number of tourists.
As a result, many people contacted me personally.
My dad, everyone, to come for the Catatumbo lightning. Well, how beautiful, how beautiful. Look, we just arrived again at Tani's Stilt house where we're going to sleep. And it smells like roast chicken. What do you say, Cello? All good, brother, all good. What are you guys doing over there? A little roast chicken, and on the side some crabs so people leave happy. And you're doing quality control, right? Of course, brother, it's good. Look at this deliciousness. Here are some roast chickens. Over here, there are some little crabs, and inside are fried plantains. Let's try those plantains. Look, here is the green plantain, and over here... Wow, that looks delicious. Look at these fried plantains they're making over there. And what else? What else is around here? Look, shredded salad and crab ceviche. Wow, that looks delicious. It's my first time trying blue crab ceviche. Aha, here it is. The crab meat is really tender. And I love the fried plantain because it's not like so green, it's a little ripe, so it's a bit sweet, and with the saltiness of the ceviche, it makes an amazing combination. Roger, I have a question. Shouldn't that crab be blue? Why is it red? Well, because it was blue before putting it on the grill. Oh, when you put it on the grill, it turns red. It becomes red, pink, orange, it takes on several colors. And with lime, just salt and lime. Yeah, but explain to me, are you going to bite it? The skin is soft, I bite the shell, and then I try to take out the skin and spit out the shell afterward. Look, this little shell here is hard. And the meat is in here inside. Go ahead, that doesn't bother.
How's it going?
And can I eat it, the peel?
Yes, it's fine. Is it soft?
This is great. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of lobster. And I thought crab would taste similar, but no, the meat is really tender. This claw is so good, it's even a bit crunchier. Well, have you tried blue crab? Here in Ologá? Night has fallen here in Ologá, and we're already setting up the hammocks to get some rest and take turns sleeping. Because As you know, we want to see the Catatumbo lightning, and it's unpredictable when it might appear. Therefore, we take turns in groups to sleep and rest. The nights here in Ologá are quite intense. Not only because you can't sleep while waiting for the lightning, but also because there's a lot of humidity, a lot of heat, and sometimes storms that hit you. Right on top of the stilt house, it feels like it's literally going to collapse. That's why the last thing you come here to do is sleep. But honestly, you really enjoy it, because that's what adventure is all about, right? And hopefully tonight we can witness the Catatumbo lightning. I don't know how much we'll be able to show you, because our Sony camera definitely died. I mean, it broke down completely. We don't know what it is. Once we get back, we'll have it checked to see what could be wrong, and well, that's all for now. Look, I know the quality is horrible, but appreciate the amount of catfish that are just at the edge of the stilt house. Do you remember the last time I was telling you that when you went to the bathroom, little fish would show up to eat the organic waste? Well, these are the little creatures right here. And right now, Tani, the owner of the stilt house, tells me that they taste good, tasty when fried. You take them out like this with a basket, since they don't grow any bigger than that, and then you fry them and eat them. The storm has already started. You haven't seen much lightning, but I don't know if you can hear the rain. In fact, we had to take down the hammocks where we had them and put them in a room over here because the wind is really strong and we were getting completely soaked. Look, here are some hammocks hanging. Wow! The storm, it's really loud. Just right now, the Catatumbo lightning is just now showing. Look at this beauty, how the sky, it looks like a bunch of cameras, and that's how it can happen. Several minutes, several hours, who knows how long. It's 7 in the morning and the rays can still be seen just a little. But they started to come out around 6 or 5:50. And yes, that's how unpredictable it is to come to the lightning. That's why I was telling you that we had to take turns to keep watching the sky. And if they showed up, well, I would wake up the rest of the group. That night, that downpour fell, that storm right over the stilt houses, and I said, wow, the storm is gonna hit us. It happened to me the first time I came. It was so loud, it stunned my ears. The lightning was striking way too close to the stilt house. But this time, it wasn't like that. This time, it was just a heavy rain and there was no more lightning at dawn. Not until just now in the morning, when you could see all the Catatumbo lightning. Beautiful. Unfortunately, the videos you saw were taken with the cell phone and the drone, but we didn't have the camera to take pictures. because the best way to capture lightning is through a time lapse, which is a sequence of photos. In a photo, obviously you get the highest image quality, and then you compile a series of photos and create a video. That's what is called a time lapse. And here, with a tripod, pointing toward the place where the lightning is striking and leaving it for hours, that's how you capture a beautiful video of the lightning. Let's see if I can get you one from some previous trips. Did you see how amazing the Catatumbo lightning can look? This was our experience. Honestly, I'm fascinated to come here. This was where we made our first YouTube channel video, and today, 5 years later, we're making another one. And we definitely hope to come back. We even hope that Alan will come back at some point. He was one of our mentors, not only in tourism, but also in the passion for photography, for nature, and for good vibes. I mean, he was a man who, even if you didn't see lightning, the experience with him was incredible. Because the enthusiasm he put into providing good service made sure you had a great experience, right? That's all for now, friends. Remember to subscribe if you haven't yet. It's the best way to support us. And it's completely free for you. Turn on notifications if you really enjoy it. Hitting the little bell supports us twice by notifying you of new videos and signaling to YouTube that many people are engaging with the bell feature. We're going to show these crazy guys' videos more and more. See you in the next one.